fight, it's that blue, white. The Eagles came to fight, it's that blue.
And welcome inside the Eagles Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. And Mike, we're going to continue our interview this week with Tyson Summers, head coach of the Georgia Southern Eagles. And one of the big things that was, I guess, over the last couple weeks, a lot of people are talking about is the fact that the Sun Belt is going to host a championship game, which Georgia Southern was told when they were joining the league, hey, be ready to play in that. And it's been a few years and another year have to wait, but it's coming. Your thoughts on the Sun Belt Championship for football?
I think it's a great idea. Every conference now going to that. It used to be that you needed to have split divisions. You needed to have at least 12 teams in order to hold a conference championship game. Not the case anymore. So the Sun Belt, they'll get that extra chance to put their two best feet forward in front of a national stage, a little bit of a chance to get some more TV revenue money with those big money games. It might be another weeknight game. You've got to schedule it around some of the bigger conferences who take up those primetime slots on Saturday just like they do every year. But the main argument for it is that it gives the best team in the conference one more chance to get one more win, possibly battle for an Access Bowl. If you've got maybe a one-loss team, an undefeated team, the cons to it are that same undefeated team could lose and cost himself a chance. But you've got to look at where the Sun Belt stands right now. Currently, nowhere near the top of the hierarchy of the college football world. So if you're a team that's 12-0 and makes it to that championship game, you're just going to have to win a 13th game. It can hurt you a little bit, but it can only help you if you're as good as that record says you are.
It's all going to be hindsight, Mike. I'd imagine if Georgia Southern's undefeated and loses in the championship game to somebody, and then that team had a loss or even two, they'll be frustrated. Mm-hmm. If they win it, and because of the winning that, then they're able to go on to bigger and better things, then of course it will have been a great thing. We know how things work around here. There's a lot of hindsight that comes up. Do you feel like some of the Sun Belt Commissioner Benson's decision had to do with the Big 12 deciding they were going to a championship game?
I think it might have, because if my math is right, if the Sun Belt wouldn't have included a championship game, they'd be the only conference out there that doesn't. You don't want to turn into the Ivy League of FBS being the only one without a postseason. If everybody else has a championship game where ESPN's going to make their graphic and show it to millions of people, the Sun Belt might as well get in line. And like you said, it's going to be hindsight no matter what. But Georgia Southern, they're used to having playoff games where they got to win one to get to the next level or get to the next best game. So just maybe put yourself in the playoff mindset one game earlier.
All right, well, we had a chance to talk with Athletics Director Tom Kleinlein about a month and a half ago before this was announced about his thoughts on the opportunity of playing a championship game, which he was on board with. And we also had a chance to talk recently with Tyson Summers about the now reality that they will have a chance to play in a championship game. The Sun Belt is now going to have a championship and a championship game.
Sure.
Whether you like it or not, it's here.
Sure.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, like anything else, the positives that you look at out of it certainly become, opportunities again to feel like with strength of schedule and opportunities in your league to be able to, again, what we're hoping for, what I think everybody in the Sun Belt, and again, Conference USA, the American Conference, Mountain West, are trying to get to an Access Bowl. That's what we're all hoping for. You see opportunities in the past where other conferences haven't had championship games. It's hurt them for some opportunities they've had with bowls, and we certainly don't want to be left out of the mix when the opportunity arises for us. So I think that those are positives.
Do you think the Big 12 deciding that they were going to do it kind of forced the Sun Belt's hand in a way?
I wouldn't want to speak on the commissioner by any stretch of the imagination, but what I do think is that between the commissioners, the head coaches, and the athletic directors, that we've all made a decision that this is going to be the best thing for the league.
Speaking of athletic directors, your relationship with Tom Kleinlein, obviously he went through a lot to bring you here. What's your relationship like with him, and how important is it for you guys to be on the same page?
I think it's very important. Tom and I do have a good relationship. He's certainly somebody that's got a great football background. Obviously, a guy that played it in ACC and then was able to spend time and be on a number of different staffs with a lot of success. And I think being able to be in that administrative role and to have somebody that does have that kind of background is a great person to be able to bounce ideas off of. He's certainly somebody that it's easy to communicate with, and somebody that has the same vision, the same goal. I think if you look at what he's been able to do here in the last 4 years that he's been here, and changes to facilities, changes in opportunities to game day experience, what a positive thing that it's been. Obviously the move to Division I, getting into the conference, changing Paulson Stadium, adding seats, adding our football operations center. How can you feel poor about anything to do with that? Because those are all positives for our program.
Anything on the horizon that you and Tom Kleinlein have spoken about that you'd like to see improvement-wise to football facilities?
Well, I think the thing that you look at is what a good job they've been able to do with the cosmetics here and what you're able to see here in the building. If you walk into our lobby area and you're able to look and see all the things that have happened in the tradition and the pride, I think it really stands out. And you know, we've made some small adjustments here and there. They've all been things that are more positive for what we feel like organization as much as anything. But no, we feel good about what we've got, and I think that Tom and the people who put this building together have done an outstanding job.
How early do you and your coaching staff start looking at game film of your opponents, and is it more Sun Belt related or just everybody's got a little bit that they take care of?
No, we've done kind of both. We've looked at certain opponents, you know, even starting back into March and April and taking some time into looking at those things. And then certainly we've got, you know, 3 or 4 more teams that we need to spend a little bit more time with. Some of those guys have been assigned to those things kind of through their vacation. Their little bit of time they get off, we leave them homework. And then, you know, we'll still have some opportunities and some time when we get back as well. We'll get back and have 2 weeks prior to spring, prior to camp starting. And then really the 2 weeks after camp, you still got those opportunities as well. So we've got a lot of time ahead of us, but we started that as early as March or April.
Well, Mike, it's summertime, a lot of camps going on. We've shown some of the Georgia Southern football. Georgia Southern basketball had a chance to have a camp as well. Mark Byington had one for some younger kids that were in town. Here's some of that.
Oh, it's a lot more laid back than compared to February basketball, March basketball for us. I really enjoy it. I was a product of growing up and going from camp to camp when I was all different sports, and it usually was my favorite weeks when I was in a basketball camp or a football camp or baseball camp. So I know a lot of kids look forward to it, and I have a lot of fun with them. Yeah, we do a lot of different things. We do a Simon Says version of LeBron Says to have them learn how to play defense and reward them with popsicles. So my main thing is I want them to have fun. And if they like basketball, they learn some basketball, they want to keep playing and keep growing with the game as they keep getting older, I feel like our job's accomplished here.
Well, that'll wrap things up for now. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.